Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about some of the sports photographers that I follow on Instagram. Now, these are just some of them because it would be a very long video if I talk about all of them. And not all sports photographers are on Instagram, so it is what it is. I just hope that because it's a very popular social media platform, that you guys have an Instagram account and you can follow these people and get inspired by their work. That's the point of the video, to show you other people's work so that you can follow it, study it, get inspired by it, and as a consequence improve your own sports photography. So let's get going and start showing you some of these profiles.
Okay, so let's start this off with a Brazilian photographer named Buda Minge. He's from Rio. If you like football, he was at the last Women's World Cup, at the last Men's World Cup. So you'll see pictures just from the backstage of the squads. You can see here photos from the Portuguese team, the ones you can see on the official accounts for FIFA. So he seems to be at every major event and all the events that happen in Brazil as well. So really good profile to follow. Next up, Ricardo Nugaida, another Brazilian photographer. He lives in Spain, so he photographs a lot of La Liga, specifically Real Madrid. In fact, some of his clients seem to be Real Madrid players, so he'll have pictures for each one of them, and his attention to detail is very interesting. Like, you'll see pictures that are not the most common pictures in football, which is very interesting because it's just different. And especially his panning shots are some of the best I've seen in the business. Some of his pictures seem to get used by the Champions League official accounts. He often makes stories in Instagram where you can ask him questions. He posts behind the scenes videos, so very interesting profile to follow. So give him a follow. Not that he needs, because he's almost at 500k, but yeah, definitely a really interesting profile to follow. Now moving on to Irish photographers. Keane, one of the nicest guys you can meet, always seems to be in good spirits. Very interesting fact about Brian is that he was actually an Olympian athlete himself, representing Ireland, and now he's a sports photographer. How about that? Very cool. Now, he has amazing shots, but I'm just gonna highlight one here that went viral when it was shot, and you can see why. Maybe you have seen this photo of Simon Biles from the Olympics. It's a multi-exposure photo, and he talked to me how he did this image, and it's just phenomenal to hear the behind the scenes of how such a picture is imagined and taken. There's a lot of articles out there on the web if you search for it. I'm gonna try to link one where they talk about this specific photo. Very nice guy, very interesting. Seems to be everywhere and always in good spirits. Good guy, Brian, so give him a follow. Then you have James Cromie, another Irish photographer. Very nice guy, multi-award winning photographer. His attention to detail is just really good, and I'm just gonna highlight a photo which, interesting enough, is not a sports photo, but it's one that you might have seen featured in Petapixel and newspapers all around the world that he took, which is this one. So again, I'm gonna try to link a story to how this happened and how he did this, but you can already tell it's a lot of birds forming a bird. So the formation of birds drew a bird. Now, to get this type of shot is something just outstanding. What a phenomenal picture. But again, I follow James because of his sports photography originally, but he seems to photograph everything well. He doesn't seem to know how to take a bad photo. So really good profile to follow. Another Irish photographer. Now, this one I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but if you like Gaelic games, so hurling, Gaelic football, camogie, etc., he's one to follow. He photographs all sorts of sports, obviously, but I follow him specifically for Gaelic games because I think that his pictures are quite interesting. Sometimes the crop is very tight, and I appreciate how he goes into the detail on his photos. So give him a follow as well. Again, sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I'm sure I wouldn't do a good job at it. Another Irish photographer, David Fitzgerald, very nice guy as well. Interesting attention to detail in his photos. I remember being at a hurling match with him, and all the photographers were lined up in front of the bench waiting for the teams to come up to take a picture, and David was on the opposite side until somebody said, "Hey, this is where they're gonna face us," and I said, "No, I'm fine here." So he wanted to take a completely different picture of the ones that everybody took, so he wanted to take a silhouette photo of the squad, and I can't seem to find it here, but it just goes to show that sometimes, you know, being different is what makes you stand out. So really interesting profile to follow as well, David's. Another Irish sports photographer to follow is Stephen McCarthy. Let me just show you one of his pictures that I find phenomenal, which is a rugby picture, and it should be here somewhere. There we go. Look at that. That's just magnificent. The steam coming off the players. Now, I don't know how much editing this had to highlight the steam, but regardless, the lighting, the composition, everything is just on point on this picture. So another great profile to follow. And moving on to different nationalities, you got Adam Pretty from Australia. Now, his attention to detail is just very different from the generic sports photographer. The colors on the pictures that he takes, the framing, the editing just seem to be on point. Really interesting profile to follow. Really enjoy his work. Moving on to the NBA, I guess. Now, if you grew up watching Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, etc., I am sure you will have seen Andrew's work. Let me just show you one picture in particular, which is very famous that he took. Well, he took a lot of them, but one in particular is very famous, which is this one. Michael Jordan crying when he won the championship with his dad next to him. If you're an NBA fan, surely you will have seen this photo. So give him a follow. Speaking of iconic sports photographers, Neil Leifer, I am sure you will have seen his work at some point, even if you didn't know it was his. Let me just show you one of the most iconic sports photos of all time. This one of Muhammad Ali is one of them, and there's another one. Let's see if I can find it, also of Muhammad Ali. Should be here somewhere. There we go. This one. So I'm pretty sure you will have seen both. Old school photographer, insane body of work. Give him a follow. Not that he needs, but if you like to study photography, sports photography in specific, definitely one to follow. Continuing with American photographers, the reason why I'm showing you Paul Rutherford is because he actually has a YouTube channel, so give him a follow. Really nice guy. He shoots for USA Today, I believe. He shoots a lot of NBA, baseball. Attention to detail is just remarkable as well. Look at this. He takes a lot of photos which are not the normal action photos that you see, because that gets boring. He has videos where he talks about that. So it's very interesting to see his points of view when he's talking about sports photography. So give him a follow on YouTube and on Instagram as well. Moving back to Europe here, so you got Gary Oakley, photographer from Manchester. So if you like the Premier League, you want to give him a follow. He shoots a lot of Premier League, not just the men's, but also the women's. And he doesn't shoot just sports, as you can see from his profile, but a lot of Premier League can be found here. And one thing I find very interesting is that it actually gives you a sense of the atmosphere of the games. So you don't see just action photos, you see the surroundings, you see everything, like drone shots of the stadiums themselves, the fans, the match programs, etc. Again, not just sports, but a lot of sports, so give Gary a follow. To finish off the video, I'm going to show you some work from some Portuguese photographers. I'm going to start off with Miguel Loba. He doesn't shoot just sports, he shoots a lot of different things, like you can see the Pope here when he recently visited Portugal, but the football is there. So if you like Primeira Liga, Benfica, Porto, Sporting, etc., you'll find a lot of those photos as well, also for the national team as well. Let's continue with Portuguese photographers. So in this case, you got Felipe Murray from Lisbon. Let's start off with this iconic photo of Cristiano Ronaldo when Portugal won the UEFA Nations League. Again, similar to the previous photographer, he doesn't shoot just football. You got a lot of different things like politics, concerts, etc. Really, really good attention to detail editing. I really enjoy watching his work. But again, if you like Primeira Liga, the Portuguese first division, I guess, this is one of the profiles to follow for sure. Another Portuguese photographer I follow is Pedro Fuse. As you can see, he photographs a lot of football, and his pictures seem to end up in the main pages of a lot of sports newspapers. So really, really interesting profile to follow as well. And to finish off the video, I'm just going to show you the profile of the World Sports Photography Awards. So it's not just one photographer in particular, it's several. And if you click on the description of each one of the photos, you will see who took the photos, and then you can give that specific photographer a follow.
And that's all for today, folks. Be sure to follow those people on Instagram. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Follow the channel if you aren't already. And until next time, take it easy, guys. Stay safe.